Hello sweet friends, this is Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. I am so excited to share with you guys today finally my Holly Hobbie kits for journaling. I have been working on these things for over a year now because I have had to dig and find and search and hunt for ephemera to put in these kits. And Holly Hobbie stuff is not the easiest to find. I thought strawberry shortcake was hard to find, but I think strawberry shortcake is actually a little bit easier to find than Holly Hobbie. I grew up loving Holly Hobbie when I was a kid in the 70s and early 80s. Holly Hobbie was my jam. I had Holly Hobbie toys, Holly Hobbie dolls, I had a Holly Hobbie dollhouse, I had Holly Hobbie sheets and clothing, and I think I even dressed up like Holly Hobbie a couple years for Halloween. And so Holly Hobbie was like my jam. So I've always been in love with it and just that whole kind of country, calico, 1970s vibe. And so being able to put this stuff in my journal has made me really, really happy. And then being able to curate enough stuff that I could make kits that I could share with you guys and you all could put into your journals has made me so, so happy. So this has taken me a while. And what I've actually come up with is I had enough stuff that I was able to make 6 different kits. And so each of the 6 different kits has a different collection of items in it. I tried to make these kits smaller so that you could mix and match and pick and choose. I didn't want them to be overly full so that you would just have a whole bunch of stuff and not really know what to do with. And so the way I set these kits up was I had 6 different Holly Hobbie vintage fabric panels. And so each kit is going to have a different fabric panel. And so these are already in my shop, so you are welcome to go to my shop and check them out. But I will go through and show you guys what each kit has. So this one is the Holly Hobbie and her friend having a tea party. And so it will have the fabric panel. And full disclosure here, guys, I did iron. I've washed all the fabric, so it smells really yummy. But I also ironed it, and then in the process of putting these kits together, because it has been a huge process, they've gotten wrinkled again. So I apologize if they come to you wrinkled. Yeah, just know I did iron them. So anyway, this is the Holly Hobbie fabric panel that you'll get with this one, and this is the tea party. In this one, there is a vintage calendar page, and I believe this is a 1976 because the theme is red, white, and blue. And then you will get to choose your illustration on the calendar page. So I've numbered them, this is number 11. So when you go to the listing, you just look for whatever number, and then you'll go over and see if that number is available. For this calendar, there was writing on this calendar. So you could use either side. You could use the side that has the writing, or you could use the illustration side. And again, guys, these are old. These are all original. None of this stuff has been reproduced or scanned or copied. And so you are getting the real deal. So there might be some stains and some small tears and just some yellowing, and that just shows that it's had a previous life and it's been well loved. So you'll get a calendar page. It's nice and sturdy. Then there is a vintage envelope. It's not a Holly Hobbie envelope, but I did some hand stamping on it because I thought those images kind of reminded me of Holly Hobbie. And then I put a few things in the envelope. So the first thing is I have some of these vintage cards, and it already had this image on it, but I went ahead and stamped another image on it because you could cut this in half and have 2 cards, or you could actually, there's a score mark right here, you could fold it and it could be 1 large card. Then there is 4 pieces of vintage Holly Hobbie wrapping paper. And then I took some of my vintage fabric and I ran it through my die cut machine and found that there were some definite fabrics that coordinated with this, and so then you'll get 4 die cut hearts. The next kit is Holly Hobbie, and she is carrying pie. And so there's the fabric piece. This time I took a page from a big book, and the big book was Holly Hobbie's Nursery Rhymes. I haven't seen this very often. I've seen like it in a smaller version, but not this large version. So this is a pretty large book page, but you can cut out the text, you could cut out the images. And then there are 2 little tiny book pages. So these are like gift books. If you've seen my gift book collection before, they're just the small gift books that were put out by Hallmark or American Greetings or Ambassador, and they were usually given like if somebody was sick or if you were giving something for someone's birthday. I believe one of these books is a birthday book. And so these are cute little pages. You'll get 2 of them, and this is a collection of like 3 different books, and so I try to mix and match to make sure you get 2 different ones. Now again, these are well loved, so you're gonna see their age. These are all 1970s. There is one of the books that had a small cut at the very top. It really does not detract at all. In fact, you can't even tell it's there. If you were going to cut this up or use it in journaling, a little piece of washi tape right there would be cute, or a little label sticker. And so, yeah, just know that they are going to show their age. But there's 2 of these small little gift book pages. Then there is a Holly Hobbie thank you for your shower gift card, and the envelope that came with it, and then I did a little bit of hand stamping on the envelope. The third kit is Holly Hobbie with the sunflower. This is probably my favorite image. I love this. This fabric panel is probably my favorite one. So with this kit, you will get Hobby Hobbie Postalette. So this is one of those postcards that you would write your letter on the inside, and then it's already scored, so you will fold it up. And I believe there's 2 different images on this one, so you may get this one, and then I think there's one of Holly Hobbie sitting down. So you get a postalette, you will get a vintage coloring book page, and these came from a coloring book that was actually owned by a little girl. And so you might have some coloring on one side of the coloring book page. And then this calendar page, this is my favorite. There are 3 different calendars that I pulled from. And so this kit has the 1973 calendar pages. These guys are empty, so there's no writing on them. And they're textured, and they're really large, but they're just really, really beautiful. And so again, you will get to pick what image you want. This is the 3rd calendar page kit that I have. This one is 1975. It's got kind of a greenish tint to it. Again, you'll get to choose what image you want. This calendar again has writing on it. And you'll get 2 pieces of vintage wrapping paper. One is a longer piece, one is a shorter piece, but I tried to mix and match and make sure that you get a good assortment of the images. And these are different wrapping papers than in the other kit. You'll get a coloring book page, and again, it came from the same coloring book, so it may have color on one side, but it won't have color on both. And then the fabric panel for this kit is the Holly Hobbie girl and the Holly Hobbie little boy here. So I gathered quite an array of Holly Hobbie books over the past couple of years. And so this was a chance for me to use some of my book pages. So this kit is Holly Hobbie walking with a grocery sack, and it's got newspapers hanging out of it. So I think I called this the Holly Hobbie newspaper kit. In this kit, you will get 3 book pages, and they came from, let's see, Holly Hobbie ABC, Holly Hobbie's answer book, and then Holly Hobbie's, I think it's the book about time. I think that's the other one. So you get a page from each of those. And then you'll get a Holly Hobbie playing card. And this is not Holly Hobbie, but it just looks like it would go with it. And I thought that would be a really cute companion playing card to go with that one. And you could totally, like, it totally fits with that theme, the flowers and the colors. And the last kit that I have is Holly Hobbie walking with her cat, which I love, love, love this one. The page from the book came from, I believe this one is Holly Hobbie, or Days of Holly Hobbie, I think is the name of this book. A postulette, so this is a totally different postulette, okay, and it's blank on the inside. And then you'll get a Holly Hobbie boy playing card, and then another playing card that again isn't necessarily Holly Hobbie, but it looks like it would go with it and it would totally match with that theme. To package these kits, I had to get creative because I wanted to do it so that it wasn't going to cost an arm and a leg, but yet I wanted it to arrive safely. So you will get your kit or kits in an envelope. It'll be a padded envelope depending on the size of your kit. And then I wrapped them in plastic because they won't fit in a page protector. And just a little added, I pulled some of my vintage fabric and then I just tied a bow around your kit kind of to keep it all together. Now let's talk journals. So along the way, I have picked up quite a bit of Holly Hobbie ephemera, and some of the stuff I got actually had some really cool packaging. So these were some decoupage sheets that had like Holly Hobbie images and stuff, and I just didn't know what to do with this cardboard backing, the package that it came in. It was sturdy and it was just, I don't know, there was something about it that I just really, really liked. So they've kind of sat on my desk for a while and then I finally figured it out. I would turn them into the back of journals. So I have 4 journals that are made from the packaging of some Holly Hobbie prints. And so these journals, I'll flip through and show you. These journals are pretty cool. I'm in love with these. Okay, so first of all, they're gonna be a soft cover and a soft spine. Sorry, my husband is mowing the lawn. As per usual, when I start a video, the dog barks and my husband mows the lawn. So if you've watched my videos before, you know this is how it goes, so we'll just pretend like we don't hear it. So this is soft cover, soft spine. It's a single signature, and then it'll have this, this backing will be the back cover. So this right here in the center, these are some really cool, they were patches, and they were Holly Hobbie brand or theme, I suppose, patches, and you were supposed to be able to iron them on. Now, I did not iron them on because they are very old and I didn't know if they were gonna work and I didn't want to ruin them. So I just sewed them on, and then I found some coordinating like upholstery fabric that I thought would work really, really well, and then I just pulled out all of my favorite 1970s, 1980s trims and fabrics and just really went to town. I mean, this is so totally Holly Hobbie right here. The ruffles, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's one. When you open it up, you will see that there is that fabric panel. So I just took the scraps and I made a pocket out of it. So you'll have a pocket on one side, a pocket on the other. And then this has wallpaper, book pages from like sewing and embroidery and needlework books, some stationery, and I don't typically do hand stamping, but I did this time just because I felt like these stamps were so cute and it really dressed up the stationery. Some scrapbook paper, some vintage ledger paper, and this is from 1969. Some patterns like for sewing and needlework and embroidery, some scrapbook paper, some craft paper, so paper from like an old craft book, more stationery with some vintage envelope with a vintage envelope that I sewed on here. This is like a chart for teachers. This is some more stationery. This is a like a chart, and I used this last year in some journals that I did around Christmas. It was like a chore chart, and it's really nice, kind of thick paper, and I just love the graphics and stuff on them. It's from 1980s. Some grid paper, scrapbook paper, 2 pieces of vintage notebook paper sewn together to make a pocket. Some of my absolute favorite letterhead, I always put that in journals. And then I did some hand stamping, some stationery, again some more needlework or sewing paper, and then a piece of thick cardstock scrapbook paper. And so this will have 20 pages times 2, so it would be 40 pages. And then by the time you do your fronts and backs, you're going to end up with 80 pages. And there's like a little pocket that I made there. So I'm really into these single signature journals right now. I am loving them. I love the way they lay. I love how much room you can put in them. And so to show you guys how you can bulk this up, I extended the front cover, so let's see if we can show you. I extended the front cover a little bit because as you start to journal and as you start to bulk this up, what's going to happen is your front cover will be able to kind of expand and keep all of your stuff intact. And if you have a fat journal, you know what I'm talking about. So I gave a little extra room on these covers to kind of give you some room to grow. So there's that one. And all the papers and stuff, they're the same. I'll show you, I'll just kind of flip through and show you the insides. And again, upholstery fabric, different trims, but pretty much the same setup. There's the scrapbook paper in the center. Oh man, I can smell those book pages. Just love the smell of old book pages. I know. My husband and my boys, they walk down in the basement where my room is that I'm in right now, and they're like, oh my gosh, Mom, it smells like Grandma and Grandpa down here. And it does. And that's okay, because I love it. Look at that fabric. Isn't that gorgeous? Some more fabric. And then the last one, again, the same setup. I'll show you, this is the middle page here. And then I love putting wallpaper. I love wallpaper, journaling on wallpaper. I actually did a process video and it was actually about Holly Hobbie. I did a process video yesterday. I haven't edited it yet, but I will get it edited and I will get it out for you guys to watch. But it was in my This Is Me journal, and I don't know if you remember that, but that's the one I made out of my baby clothes. So if you remember a couple of summers ago, this is my This Is Me journal, and I made this all out of my baby clothes. I'll try to remember to link it down below. And I hadn't journaled in this for a while, but I did a journal spread, and I actually did it on wallpaper, and I love it. So I will get this edited, and I will get that process video out for you guys to see. The last two journals I have actually came from the coloring book that I put the pages in the kit. So once I pulled the pages out, I just couldn't get rid of these covers. They're just too precious. And again, they're going to show their age. There's where a price tag was, and I tried to keep the price tag, but the stick had fallen off. There's a crease right there. And then on the back is some nice upholstery fabric. I used some of that, the lace, and just kind of that whole 1970s vibe. Pulled out some of my favorite trims. And then the inside, I have a nice pocket for both sides, but this is actually a page from a wallpaper sample book, and these are the fabric companions. And so this is actually a piece of fabric, and there's a piece of fabric right here. And so this just made a great inside because the colors coordinated with the front, and it was nice and sturdy. And so this is going to be a soft cover and a soft spine. It will be a single signature. And so there's two of them. There's this brown one, and then there's the blue one. You can see I did kind of the same thing. Love this right here. And then here's the inside. So this is fabric, and this is fabric. And then here's your pockets, 2 deep pockets. And so the pages, and I haven't put these guys together yet, but it'll be set up the same way. It'll have 20 pages, and these are going to be bigger than the other journals. So you can see these are a much bigger size than the other journal. So the pages I picked for this journal, this came out of an old ledger book, not terribly old, so the paper's not falling apart, but this is going to be an older ledger book. This is an older ledger book. This is some ledger paper. This is a 1977 calendar with an image on the inside. This piece of wallpaper will actually be the inside page. This piece of wallpaper will become the outside page because it's got the pockets, and there's the pattern on that. Then I've sewed together some pages, and I believe these are ledgers from 1970. And then I just added some old Denison. These were some sort of cards, like I got them when I went on vacation this summer, and I've been dying to use them, and so I cut them down and I stuck them on here. I'm gonna have some scrapbook paper, and then this is a book that I found at a thrift shop, and I'd never seen it before. It's from the 1980s, early 1980s. I can't even think of what the title is, but it had all of these cool colors and these awesome illustrations, and so I thought this would be a perfect page to put inside this journal. Then there will be some scrapbook paper, and then this is a larger piece of some, it's not typing paper, it's not copy paper, it's some sort of an old white paper that I picked up somewhere along the lines. So these are dittos that I've sewn together. Scrapbook paper, and then a page from a needlepoint book. Some more needlepoint patterns. Page from a sewing book. I think this is a quilting book. And oh, this is like a heavy cardstock, and it's a pattern. So these were patterns that you would cut these out and use these. See how they're numbered? You would cut these out and you would use these if you were trying to piece together a quilt, and they're blank on the inside. And then this is some cool stuff. I found this just last week. I love this. So this is like a file folder, but it's only one side of a file folder, and it just happens to be the perfect size to fit in these journals, and it's got that cool tab. And then the other thing I found last week was these, and again, they're like file tabs or indexes, but they're long, and so they work perfect. And it's got this little clear tab right here, which I'm going to put something in there. And so yeah, I thought that was cool, and it's nice and thick. It's not quite cardstock, but it's thicker than just paper. And then the end pages from some of those Holly Hobbie books that I actually took the pages out of to make the kits. So people might want to know, why are you not using actual book pages from Holly Hobbie in your journals? And here's the thing. If you're a journal maker, you could absolutely do that. But for me personally, I don't want to waste a really pretty image of something Holly Hobbie in my journal on just a page, because I know I'm going to write over it, or I'm going to cover it up, or I'm going to paint over it. So I would rather put in other papers that would make great backgrounds, and then use my book pages and those images and the text to create my art. So that's why I don't use really special papers for my journaling or for my journals. I save them for my journaling because to me, I believe in the whole thing of junk journal. I think, you know, these pages, they're all kind of junk pages because I've gotten all of these at a thrift store or a garage sale or from the trash, not literally from the trash, but from somebody's discarded pile, or someone didn't want these. These are cast-offs. And so I'm going to take and turn these into the journal, and then I'm going to take my precious papers, my ones like this, my wrapping paper and my book pages. I'm going to take these, and these will become my journal. They will become my journal pages, my artwork, my creativity, my way to record memories. So that's kind of my philosophy. But however, if you make your own journals, you are welcome to do your journals however you want. This is just Three Bookery's philosophy, and so this is just how I'm going to do it. So these two journals, once I get them together, which I'm going to do later today, these guys will also be in my shop. So I will have 6 Holly Hobbie journals in my shop, and I'm going to do this release. My kits are already in my shop. I think I'll do this release on my journals. So we'll go Sunday, October 27th, 4 p.m. Central Time. I will list these 6 journals in my shop. Now, what's coming up? Well, there's some good stuff coming up. I've been working on my 60s, 70s, 80s date book journals, and I've got a few of these guys done. So I'm still thinking about a Thanksgiving release on these guys. They're going to be kind of smaller. I haven't quite decided if they're going to be single signature or I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out, but I am absolutely having a blast making these. And I did go through all the comments you guys made on YouTube, and I pulled all of the dates that you guys suggested and counted how many times, you know, you suggested them. And I'm going to try really hard, but I'm going to try to accommodate all of you guys that suggested a specific date or a date book. And remember, I have a ton of date books. I have all of these. That's what I have going on, and I'm still planning on sometime around Thanksgiving releasing some of these guys, and I'm not done yet. I would love to eventually turn all of these into journals, because otherwise they just sit on a shelf and that's not very useful. So that's my plan. All right, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you got some inspiration. I hope this made you do a little bit of reminiscing about your childhood toys and strawberry shortcake and Holly Hobbie and whatever else you played with, Rainbow Bright. I hope you guys are healthy. I hope you guys are happy. I hope you do something creative today. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Bye.